Perspective, presented by the New Orleans Secular Humanist Association, following a few principles of humanism.
We're committed to the use of science and reason for understanding the universe and for solving human problems. We're skeptical of untested claims of knowledge, but we're open to new ideas.
We are concerned with securing justice and fairness in society and in ending intolerance and discrimination. We are committed to the total separation of religion and government.
We affirm humanism as a realistic alternative to the theologies of despair and the ideologies of violence. We reject the concept of an afterlife and believe in living a full and rewarding life here and now.
We value and respect each individual's right to judge and lead their lives according to their own position, as long as it's respectful of other people, living in a free society.
We hope you enjoy today's program and others in the weeks to follow.
Hello, and welcome to another edition of the New Orleans Humanist Perspective. My name is Charlotte Clausen, President of the Board of the New Orleans Secular Humanist Association, which is the sponsor of this program, and I'll be your host for today's show. Let me tell you a little bit about my guest, Dorian-gray Alexander. Dorian, living with HIV/AIDS since 2006, embraces life as much as possible. He's committed to public service and social justice, serving on many community boards. Dorian networks and advocates via the airways by hosting a radio show, Proof Positive, on WHIV 102.3 FM in New Orleans. He can be seen hitting the streets as a 610 stopper or at a local bar. Dorian values his participation in advocacy, training, and education regarding HIV at events, forums, and conferences by sharing ideas for treatment, linkage to care, and retention in care for HIV. Other than that, some say he's a pretty cool cat. One word to describe him: intro extroverted. And for full disclosure, I was a guest on Dorian's radio show a few months ago to talk about Nosha and secular humanism. So you're now on Nosha's TV show.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Welcome to our show.
Yes, it'll be great.
I thought we would have you tell us a little bit about how you came to do the WHIV radio program and Proof Positive, and how did that happen?
So I've been involved since the beginning. The founder of the station, of course, is an infectious disease doc, and so he came up with the idea. He had heard that some bans for low power stations were going to be released, and so he then applied. He got a license to have a station. And then once that got started, we got the tower, and then he asked me, Dorian, you should be on the radio. You should do a talk show about living with HIV. Okay. So I am so like,
it was an invitation.
It was, and it's like, so you want the stutterer to do a talk show on the radio? Okay. Why not?
Yeah. Okay. So when you were envisioning Proof Positive, what were the goals of the show, and how has it changed? How did it start, and how has it changed till now?
So the station was started as radio programming for social justice and human rights, and also public health. Mm-hmm. So my role and my voice in it is that the call letters are WHIV. We honor independent voices. So along with the people, I actually put the voice of HIV in the station. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's been fun to do.
So he knew about your advocacy. Were you doing volunteer work and that kind of thing? So he knew you were active? Correct.
Okay. And I have been doing this now for, I guess, about the past 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's been fun.
Okay, and doing the advocacy or doing the radio show? I was going to ask you how long you had been doing it.
I have been living with HIV since 06, but I have been doing the advocacy work since 08.
Oh, okay.
And the station started December 1st, World AIDS Day of 2014.
Oh, okay.
That was the very first time the airwaves here got via station.
So you were one of the original shows?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you were kind of a part of the inception and conception of the entire program.
Yeah.
Well, I know that you have said that public policy and politics and all of that wrapped into kind of a core of what you're doing. What other issues do you bring onto the show when you're looking at having guests? Do you try to stay pretty much on a HIV, or can you branch out? And what kinds of things do you do?
I asked you as a guest to my show, because it is hard to do a show just about HIV every week.
Right.
That gets a little wonky.
Mm-hmm.
So certainly, it's also about music. It's also about politics. It's also about foods and other things. New Orleans.
Oh, okay. So you actually do you're kind of in some ways kind of like the way the founder of the New Orleans Humanist Perspective, Harry Greenberger, his idea about the NOSHA TV show has been that he felt like things that were cultural about New Orleans were important, and that is a celebration of life and bringing values, our values to the public, and supporting that, the things that we think are important. And so in some ways it is a lot similar in that we talk about many things. It could be religion, it could be political, it could be something totally unrelated to any of that, just on a local basis of somebody's doing something interesting in town, which I assume maybe you tackle it the same way.
Yeah, it's always that there's always a pinch of HIV in each show, but it's not always just about HIV itself.
Okay. Would you maybe expound on the fact that you said you enjoy public policy and politics and that type of thing? How do you do that outside of you doing your radio show, as far as what kinds of things you do as a local activist? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So I don't dabble directly in politics, but I certainly want people to find their own voice. I want them to become involved in the process. Voting, knowing what issues are. Every election counts, especially, we tend to think about elections that are like the big ones, presidential, governor, the House, races, but everything counts. So every school board, member, know what their platform's about, know what their policies are, know what their values are, because one, they are creating policy for kids in the future. Judgeships, very, very important. Criminal or else civil, because one, you never know what court cases they'll get that'll set precedents, or else you yourself might face that judge one day.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I think on your show, I think we did touch on the importance that a lot of people take for granted, that there's a lot I call it maybe, that's very unsexy about some politics. It's very tedious. It's boring. You know, certain topics they're just only lawyers find certain topics fascinating. So
Correct,
the general
yeah.
public,
Yeah.
it's very easy to understand why they're not engaged. And being involved in something like HIV and the AIDS, the movement as far as education, public health policy, and that kind of thing. I know we touched on that, of saying that if do you know who your local, local and state representatives are, and state senators are, and a lot of people simply don't know, and a lot of policy gets written on a local state basis that
All
affects your
policy
life.
does,
All the
correct.
policy that really
Yes.
affects our lives. And so I think that
If it's
that's
about taxes, if it's about health care, if it's about things that are important to you, in our city right now, we have a lot of things going on. So it's good to be involved and also knowledgeable.
Right. Yes, definitely being informed. And I guess to kind of touch on your show, I was curious, just from the perspective of, if you were the first show, had you done radio before going on?
I had never done radio before, so
So
being,
you had to learn everything from scratch.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
it's been a very huge learning curve. As someone who stutters, speaking is challenging. It's challenging for me, although I think a lot of people get accustomed to the cadence of my voice and how I speak. So it becomes normal for them. But it's really a lot more work than you might think.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, and that was why I was curious, just on a personal level, like you were saying, working with a stuttering, then that becomes a challenge for you to say, now I have to translate this into this hour-long radio
And also
show.
to make sense, and also to try to reduce any blocks that I may have. I mean, stuttering has always been a part of my life, and certainly I'm starting to be more fluent now. And so just like on my show, I'm probably more disfluent at the beginning of the show. And then, if you'll notice, I'm much more fluent as the show progresses.
Okay.
Just as I feel that I'm doing now.
Okay. I guess, was there anything else that stood out about learning radio that was just especially scary or to learn how to do, or did it all just fall into place really easily? It's been 2 years now, and so it has fallen into place. There's still a lot that I would love to know, and there are still a lot of things that I would love to learn to do with my show, because I record each show, and so there is this dream of a podcasting of my show. So one day I'm going to have those all archived out there, and people can listen and hear past shows. I think it would be really nice to do. Okay. I think learning anything technically, can be just so. Just kind of scary for people who just don't have a background in it. So I was just curious of how that went for you. Where do you see your program in the future, now that you are more experienced as a radio personality in many ways? I mean, do you see changing your show, or maybe creating new parts of your show that just taking a new direction, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, it certainly has. It certainly has crossed my mind about what are the possibilities and what directions I might go. Just stay tuned.
Sure.
Is all I can say at this point.
Yes. Okay. One aspect of it is being a person living with HIV, and so I presume there's a message that you use in your advocacy. So what would you like others to know? What you would like our viewers to know about living with HIV?
That that the focus is on living. That as I think my life is an example of someone, and I'm just one person living with HIV, doing very, very well. But there are thousands of us across the U.S. Yet HIV continues to have an inordinate amount of fear and also stigma attached. So I would certainly want that to be changed. So I hope that I can demonstrate to people that having a chronic disease of any kind, be it HIV, be it diabetes or MS, still allows you to live a very healthy, normal life.
Okay. To take that a little further, do you feel like Louisiana and the New Orleans community, how would you say HIV is faring as a program here in the state as far as attention to it? And do you feel like Louisiana is changing, or do you feel like there's still some challenge to working with politicians? And
there are lots of challenges. In Louisiana, we have about 21,000 people living with HIV. A lot of folks who are living below the poverty line. Access to care here isn't, the absolute best, but it is good. Okay. Yet we also have high rates of infection and also late diagnoses of HIV in our state. So people become affected at high rates here. New Orleans and also Baton Rouge have pretty much consistently been in the top 5 rates for HIV infection the past 10 years, which is really sad.
Right. And what would you say, are there any programs that we should know about that we could support or at least be aware of on a state level that you're able? I mean, do you work with any programs that you'd like to mention? So in large part, it is important for folks to know their HIV status, which means to be tested and also to be on effective treatment for two reasons. One, if their HIV is managed, well, then they can have a very robust immune system and also remain healthy. But two, they also are now part of the solution to help stop the spread of HIV, because effective treatment means reduced infections. So it is important for folks to know their status. We also have a prevention method also, but besides being on effective treatment, but there is also treatment. There is also a pill that can prevent HIV transmission. Okay.
So it's good for folks to know that, and also to seek that out.
Correct. Okay, that's very good to know. I know that NOSHA has done fairly well as far as we have been part of the No AIDS Walk, and I didn't know if that was an example of something that you are active in.
Yeah, I mean, I have done the walk. The No AIDS Walk is a part of the No AIDS Task Force, and that's a program of Crescent Care. I know it well because I'm on their board.
Oh, okay. So that's one of your boards and activities.
It is one of the boards that I am.
Okay. Well, certainly we should have mentioned that.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought maybe we could touch on and find out more about the 610 Stomper program, of which, or I say program, but it's a phenomenon.
Yes, it is.
And you're part of that phenomenon.
Yes, correct.
In fact, I would not be surprised that maybe that was the first time I ever had known you as a Mardi Gras celebrity.
Okay.
You know, yeah.
Okay.
So, can you tell me a little bit about that? I don't know if you were involved in the very beginning or if it was something that you just came into, but tell us about that.
So the 610 Stomper started in 2009, and really rose to fame pretty fast because of the Super Bowl. We managed to get some dances going on there. The first time, to my knowledge, in which the Stompers claimed some fame was at the Buddy D parade.
Oh, okay.
And that was the parade between when the Saints were going to the Super Bowl and when they actually won it.
Okay.
And then after they the Saints won, yay! Then the Stompers then danced for the NFL parade as well.
Okay.
So I tried out in 2011, so in their third year.
I see. So you were kind of someone who came on after they were out there. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's been fun. It's the first time that I've ever been in a frat of sorts.
Oh, okay.
Because it's a great organization. I think that folks now know that the Stompers are a charitable organization, and that we help to raise money for nonprofits around the state and also the country.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And what is the motto? The men with
ordinary men, extraordinary moves.
Extraordinary moves.
Yeah.
What?
Because we have that mirth and girth.
Okay.
Yeah, and we bring smiles to folks.
Right.
It is really a really special group to be a part of, and I am so grateful to be a part of that, and two, very, very grateful that the city has embraced us.
Right.
And a great deal. It's fun.
Yeah. No, it truly is quite hysterical in its own way, because it's something that seems like such a simple idea. A bunch of guys, and of course having
the coach's shorts and the
tube socks and the gold. Are they sprayed
Yeah.
gold?
Yes,
the
correct.
Shoes are sprayed gold.
Correct.
I figure there might be somebody who sees this who may not have seen, like somebody new to the community, like who gets here after a Mardi Gras, maybe doesn't get to see a lot of that, and so I figure we need to let them know. And I know we have some pictures of you.
And we are in huge demand. We get a lot of requests a year to dance at various events. We also do two big parties ourselves. One in the winter is called the Debutante Ball.
Oh, okay.
And then in the summer we do the ball crawl, and that's a bar crawl around the city.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, and we raise funds from those two events for charities.
Oh, okay. And I guess I should have asked sooner. What made you decide to do it? Had you just always thought it would be fun, or did someone dare you, or was it just kind of on a whim? As I just think I'll show up, and if they don't pick me, that's okay, or.
So I was aware of their first tryouts because I saw the flyer, and then I forgot about it, and then I saw the second year, and I go, okay, I'm going to go, but then I forgot again. So in the third year, it's like, okay, I'm definitely going to go this year.
Okay.
So I went, and they had the crazy idea that I would be a good member. I tried it out. It is really hard to get in.
I can imagine.
Yeah, I mean, like we have had as many as 200 guys try out.
Oh.
And as few as 100, because now we cap that.
How many guys are members?
We have a steady stream right now. I think about 120 guys are on the current roster.
Troop. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
So there's so there is some attrition because folks move away or job changes or school or so on.
Yeah, who are going to have to leave for various reasons.
But no, it continues to go strong and also to grow strong, and it's fun. We are ordinary men, extraordinary moves.
I was curious. Was there anything that's been the funniest or strangest thing that ever happened because of your involvement in this?
So despite all of the things that I might do in my life, and that is, I do policy work, and I work in healthcare fields and help teach med students, and I can say that, and folks go, oh, okay, and then I say I'm also a 6'10" stomper, and they'll go, you're really? They're like excited about that.
Yeah,
and it's like the best thing ever. So that's been fun to
just have that reaction.
Experience.
Yeah, because it's like you're doing important things and serious things, and you want to have people take that seriously, and then all it takes is to say. That you're a member of this group, and then all of a sudden they're interested in what you have to say.
Right.
Yeah.
And it, along with that comes also a certain amount of responsibility because, even though I'm not dressed in my stomper outfit right now, I'm still a stomper, so, I have to watch what I say and do in pub.
And be a good...
Because I am a face of the 6'10" stompers, and I do appreciate the fan base a lot.
Right. I guess Mardi Gras parades are quite the. I guess just you see lots of people and people you don't know who pretend that they know you, and it must be quite amazing to have that. Almost like being a rock star, I guess.
Yeah, of sorts, it is.
Yeah.
Because I get stopped a lot to get pictures
and things.
And it's fun, and really it never gets old.
Oh, well, that's really amazing.
Yeah,
so maybe that kind of adulation doesn't get old. I think we think that rock stars and stuff must get tired of it, but. Well, that is just really amazing. Thank you so much for coming. We do hope you have enjoyed our program, and that you'll tune in again soon, and that you enjoyed our 6'10" stomper experience. So thank you so much, Dorian.